What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. Last week on the Stick Drift Podcast, I asked you guys to make your own variations of the Revuelto. It was a slow news week, which this week is not. It was a slow news week, so we thought we'd have some fun. I'm gonna try and have some more stuff ready for slow weeks. I need some research help from you guys. What's like a Reddit? You know, Reddit's like, am I the asshole, right? Where it's like, hey, am I the asshole because I set my granddad on fire? Context, he... And then, then it just all gets flipped on its head, right? Like, he was coming at me with a knife and wanted to murder me. Like,
yeah.
Just the kind of wild stories. Is there a subreddit for that? But, like, car-related? Like, I'm thinking something like On the Road Nightmares or something. Just, like, bad driver stories or bad car-related stories. Like, specifically those ones. Because it would be great to find some, talk about them on the podcast, have some fun on the weeks where it isn't big news going on, like the weeks of today. And what we did last week was we spent a whole tangent making our own Joker of Vuelta.
Yeah, just end up being the Joker of Vuelta somehow.
It's because you wanted purple. It's because you said the matte purple looked nice.
It was more of a satin than matte, but yeah.
Yeah.
It had like neon green rotors or something. Yeah.
But two people from the last episode of the Stick Drift Podcast did submit versions of the Revuelto with their codes and everything. So here we go. From Shadow 719. We got this. The context was, I tried to go for a stealthy style. This one looks.
What should be neon?
Oh, that's not bad. Can we see what else is done to it? So he put Technica, which I think was just like metallic.
It's just a satin or like matte.
Oh, it was
black,
a matte. It's a matte. No, not black, Josh. It was a matte Nero Nemesis.
Sounds like a Apex gun or something. The Nemesis is just like a different version of it.
The rims he's gone for are
atrocious, but yeah.
They just look like regular Lamborghini rims, in my opinion. They're just like...
They're like 20 spoke. I
guess they are, but those are Lamborghini rims.
Yeah.
Exterior rim bolts in titanium.
Titanium bolts.
Yes. He put red calipers on it, which on a full black car, that's not a bad idea. The exterior details, he went full blacked out, so he made everything lower exterior carbon. So he put shiny carbon on all of the second things. So
yeah,
the car's matte black and then shiny carbon on everything else. Livery with what is this? Oh, with a red pinstripe. Okay, we don't see it there because the pinstripe's only
on the rear is an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's just a Lamborghini thing, I guess. But like, yeah, you can see there, it's very low res, but you can see red pinstripe there. Which, yeah, sure, I don't know. It gets into gaming PC territory whenever I see black and red together.
Ignore my stuff.
Yeah. Interior contrast. He's got two-tone. He's got the black and red, which I kind of don't like that because it doesn't look red. It looks like maroon to me.
It's way too dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Compared to the pinstripe color. Then we've got the red seatbelt. Let's go. Embroidered shield. Shiny
you don't
carbon.
get the Lamborghini logo on the headrest for standard. What?
Carbon steering wheel. He got the floor mats! Yes!
Yeah, the floor mat's not standard. It is wild.
Well, no. He got floor mats that match the basic color. Let's go!
That is... Thankfully, Lamborghini is so nice as to make that an option.
Yeah, but
no car has ever come with color-coded floor mats before.
But you know what? It's not the worst someone could have done. It's actually like...
It's just kind of...
It's a sleek black build. The only gripe I had was that the
It would blend in, I guess, if that's the point.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. If it was on its own, I think it would be like, oh, whoa, matte black sports car. If it was in a group of cars, it would instantly just be in the mesh of cars.
Like, if I was driving opposite way down the M1, you wouldn't notice that.
Especially
Like, you see the headlights,
in
be
the
like,
night.
huh?
Yeah. But then we have the other model, which if I go here, if I go to Vuelta,
I'm waiting for this to be the most atrocious vehicle I've ever seen.
This is from SidWaj Sun.
This is gonna be bad.
I've got the code. Create luxury sport Lamborghini, truly one of a kind.
I can see where this is gonna end up.
It's generating. Whoa! Bright yellow! It's like a highlighter yellow! It's because it's a metallic... It's a shiny... Not yellow, sorry. Giallo Tenerife.
The entire place.
Rims are
Yellow.
Alterno forged? What is... I mean, I guess he's gone for like a high... Like a luxury... No, sorry. What, like a 13-year-old Crew 2 player would consider a luxury
caliper color is a diabolical choice.
Is that lime green
Neon
caliper?
green calipers on a yellow car should be bad.
It's highlighter green calipers on a highlighter yellow car. That's great, actually. No, that's brilliant.
That's actually insane.
Engine bonnet, titanium. Everything else is matte carbon fiber instead of the shiny. Why is the interior brown?
Oh my god.
Terra
That's actually a Citroen interior. What have you done?
Nero added. That is shocking. Well, whose nan designed this car? Like, why is the interior? It's a full... Imagine having full brown seats.
Citroen used to do a trim called the Code, and the entire thing was the entire interior was brown leather.
Oh,
that's all this is. Like, this is actually a Citroen.
Imagine
what have you
opening the
done?
door and that's what the inside of your multiple...
You need a very, very specific exterior color for brown interior to work.
Yeah.
And neon yellow is not it.
And especially for a car you're gonna drive, right? Like, the only case I see brown where it works is, like, an older Rolls Royce.
You need a very muted exterior color for it to work. Like, can't have the most flashy exterior in existence with, like, a 60s interior.
Like, this is in the same interior as this bright yellow car. Then we've got the embroidered Lamborghini. We got the Q Citura on roof. Door panel Classica? I don't know what that means. Interior carbon package. We got
floor mats.
Floor mats. But these ones are...
Well, these ones have a leather border.
Coloured
and
leather
double
pinning.
stitching.
He's got lime green calipers, a highlighter yellow car, and his floor mats, a brown interior, and his floor mats are outlined orange. We got the steering wheel, we got passenger display. Oh, he's got the passenger display!
Forgot that's an option.
Yeah!
Such a bad option. Why would... Sure.
Also got so many less, like, other options, non-visual options than the other guy.
Parking cushions.
Parking cushions? What is that?
What?
What is that, like bumper car?
Does it apply like an
outline?
airbag when you're parking? I don't get it.
What I picture...
A rear view camera isn't standard. They milk you for all their worth, or for all your worth when you're buying this.
No,
stuff.
you know what?
Jesus.
You know what? It kind of... It's like that business practice of being like, oh, you can get this from £2, and then you get like nothing, and then like every add-on is like £50
A base
each.
model Citroen comes with floor mats. I guarantee the emergency kit's just tire inflator and a warning triangle. On a rear view camera, like it's all stuff basic cars come with, but no, not a Lamborghini.
I wonder how much you could stretch the legality on that, right? What if you said, get a Lamborghini from £1, right? But what you get is like a badge, and then it's
you get
like
a Lamborghini badge for £1. I'd be intrigued to see that one.
And then the add-ons for the car is the rest of the Lamborghini. But
Lamborghini should
then
do an Aston Martin Signet. It's and they can say get a Lamborghini from like 20 grand, and then
exactly, right? Like, say you can get it from this price, but then but it's the bare like you couldn't drive it. Like the engine's
I
barely
think it would
hanging
have
on.
to be drivable to be.
I guess legally it would be.
Yeah.
Legally. Uh...
You get like a base model Vauxhall Astra engine, and you have to like it's.
I love how we went to I love how we went to the two extremes with these two cars that people made. We went sleek, black, subtle, hides kind of build to a driving
I was
pencil
expecting
case.
this one to be tragic, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. You know what? Like the red. I know you can't change the color of the rear lights, but the red rear lights just don't work on yellow at all. Yellow doesn't work to begin with, frankly. Highlighter yellow with lime green calipers. Oh,
Yeah, it
But it's
needs a
great.
very specific set of scenarios, but this is not one of them.
But yes, welcome to this episode of the Stick Drift podcast. I believe, I want to say, this is our 30th episode.
Who knows at this point?
Who does know? But this is our 30th episode, plus it's also kind of delayed. Don't worry about that. Look, it still came out Monday, but it was just a bit late. Decently late, I guess. But
This is coming out today. That's
I
impressive.
might get it out today because tomorrow's going to be so much Motorfest stuff. If it came out tomorrow, it would come out while I'm streaming. So, or I could push it to Wednesday, but at that point, like...
Yeah, might as well come out today.
Yeah, might as well. It'll just come out in like 360p for the first little while. But yes, welcome to this episode of the Stick Drift Podcast, the 30th episode of the podcast. We're going strong. We're about to be a third of a hundred. And YouTube changed their monetization things, for those wondering. For those, because we talk about the state of the extra content incoming for the podcast. I've talked about it. I don't know if because it was quite recent, I don't know if I mentioned the fact that, like, as soon as it gets monetized, I probably did. It's just I've mentioned
I
it so
think
many
you
times.
did. You have. I think you mentioned it everywhere.
I don't
multiple
know
times.
Exactly. I don't know if it was just on stream that I mentioned it, though.
I think it was the last episode as well. But,
as soon as it gets monetized, I'm just going to sink money into it, get an editor, and have that extra content coming out. But we've got YouTube have lowered their monetization requirements, not for ads, but just for fan funding. So, super chats, which suppose won't really matter to us.
does it actually say that you still need 4,000 hours of watch time for ads?
Yes, so it's start your earning journey, eligibility, 500 subs, and one of the following 3,000 hours of watch time or 3 million shorts views. Future milestone, continue to grow, watch page ads, shorts feed ads, 1,000, 4,000. So we wouldn't have ads on the podcast, which, hey, tell you what, the viewer experience is perfect for you guys then, because the ads won't be getting in the way just yet. But they made it so that instead of 1,000 hours and 4,000 hours of 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time, you can get monetized with 3,000 hours of watch time and 500 subs. But that's just members and super chats. Super chats don't matter, but the member system will be set up. We're halfway there on the watch time. We're at 1,500 hours. Pretty cool. So that's pelting towards us at the moment. And
I mean, it's still only halfway there, which is
I suppose so. Yeah. But yeah. So you know what? Like the podcast, sub to the podcast, share the podcast, because that's kind of the only way podcasts really grow. Share it around. It's the best place to listen to waffle.
It's probably not the best place, to be fair, but
I will say it's the best place, and you can quote me on that. It's like how legally you're allowed to make outlandish claims in ads. You're allowed to be like, the best shopping experience, and it's like the Tesco's down the road, right? Like it's like the hyperbole that's allowed. I mean, you never know, you don't know till you've been there, I guess. But today on the podcast, we got three main bits of news that we're going to be going into, to do with Fiat, to do with Alpine, to do with
Aston
Martin. All one of them's worrying, one of them's funny, the other one's huh. And then the gaming segment is chocked full as we've got massive Motorfest news that we're going to be jumping into, and why not TDU? A big positive and a big
Yeah.
negative is what the gaming segment's going to be this week. But let's begin with the first thing that was on the agenda for this episode of the Stick Drift podcast. And that, I suppose we can begin with, because it's the first tab that we've got here, and it's the one with the least substance, but it's the funniest one. So I'll let you read out and explain this one.
Fiat are essentially just saying no more grey cars. We're only going to sell cars with colour, which is interesting, to say the least, considering Fiat are literally the most generic car brand in existence. Like, I've never seen a Fiat 500 anything other than grey and white, so...
And the official statement, I've not read the article, you can skim through the article while I quote the statements and whatnot. Just the headliner from Autocar, this is. Instead, concentrate on shades that reflect Italian sea, sun, earth, and sky. So outrageously pretentious.
They've got a new tagline as well. Italy, the land of colours. Fiat, the brand of colours. I don't really...
That's really good.
They say it's going to give them a competitive edge.
Uh-huh.
I don't really see how. To be fair.
Frankly, I kind of love it. I actually kind of love it. No, that's great, actually.
When was the last time you bought, like, when would you even consider buying a model of car solely because of the colour?
I mean, well, why? Did they explain why in the article? Why, like, the specific
Because they want to
reasons?
gain a compare. They believe it will give them a competitive edge, is why.
I don't think you care about, like, if you're buying something in, like, the 50 grand range, you might start to go...
like, what, VXR Blue is a cool colour. I would never buy a Vauxhall because of it.
Like, it's kind of like, again, it's not, it's like, sure, not for a Fiat, though, right? It's like, maybe if you're at the point where you're buying a car that's, like, again, like, I said, like, 50 grand, sure, you can start caring about it before that, but you'd really start caring at 50 grand. Like, okay, I'm getting a 50 grand car. You're probably getting it from the manufacturer at that point, so you probably want to get a nice color of car. Especially because a 50 grand car, depending on the brand, is a car that's going to stick out regardless of the color. So, but a Fiat is a car that, it's flipped. Regardless of the color, it won't stick out, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, and... It's like literally the segment that we just did, reading the looking at the Revueltos.
I mean, they used to do this before, but like before, the default color for stuff like the Punto and the Panda used to be orange and red. Like that was the default. So like, it's not a new thing. It's just kind of, I think they're making a headline out of it because their sales are in the mud because they haven't made a new car in about a decade.
Well, they did just do the E, right? The
Fiat 600e. They're gonna sell about 4 of those.
You know what? Actually, honestly, not to flip straight away. That thing I could see. Oh, the 600E's the SUV. Oh, right.
Yeah.
The 500E. That thing, like this pink. This thing could look nice in some different colors. But I think
those have been out for 2 years, by the way. How many have you seen?
That's a fair point. I was gonna say, you
can see on it, it's got a 2021 plate. Like it's been out for a while. No one buys them because they are overpriced, horrible range. Look at it, and it's a Fiat.
I guess I'm kind of only thinking that just because it's a new car at the moment, so it still looks a bit fresh in my head.
Fiat's whole thing is they have like their reputation is terrible electrics.
Oh.
It's
an
EV.
There you go. Yeah. Maybe, but like, to be
what
fair,
is the 500E's range?
This wouldn't even look bad in grey now that I think about it. Like this car in grey. Okay, no, never mind. Oh my god, why does it look worse? Like in like an actual real.
It doesn't even have 200 miles of range.
Oh god. Oh.
Magic.
The
600E is gonna start at £40,000, by the way.
Yeah, it's rough.
Once Volkswagen and Renault get the Renault 5 and the ID2 out,
I'd like
There's no market. There's no market for these cars.
EVs kind of resurrecting hatches is like I back that. Like good on EVs for bringing back hatches because like the Fiesta getting cancelled and
I
some
mean,
other hatch.
the Abarth 595 still exists. It's just
Oh,
nobody buys them.
A Bath 595.
695 now. The 695 is the new model.
A Bath 695.
It's the Yamaha collab one, I think.
Oh, I saw one of those the other day actually. With just like a sportier looking one, right? Like
Yeah,
that's what it looks like
yeah.
to me. Yeah.
It's just a Fiat 500 that makes 30 more horsepower and has a wide body on it.
Yeah, it's crazy that I've seen one of those Yamaha Abarths. Like I've
They're super
actually,
rare. There's like
'cause
50 of them in the UK.
yeah, like it said it on it. It had the Yamaha badge.
Yeah, it's like a
was
Yamaha in blue down the side. Yeah.
Like it was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But Fiat, this is just it's so pretentious because it's like how literally that Revuelto, it wasn't black. It was like Cafe Nero or whatever it was.
It
was
would
like...
make sense if they made cars that deserved it. Like the target market for a Fiat 500 is someone late 40s, elderly woman who wants a car that's just going to get from A to B. That is the market for a
Are
Fiat
we not
500.
including like 17-year-olds who just got a car?
Well, they're
and
not
have
buying
their
brand. They're
father's
not
money?
buying brand new ones.
I guess not brand new ones. Yeah, sure, yeah.
The kind of person to buy a brand new Fiat is in their late 40s. And
I mean, the
is typically a woman.
stereotype. The stereotype is the like 17-year-old girl whose dad's buying her a car, though, right? Which
In America, sure, you could get shot in one in the UK.
but it's
if they still
way
made
more-
the Abarth 124 Spider, sure.
yeah.
They don't.
Like you're a lot more ruthless on it than I am. I was kind of like oh yeah, well like it's a bit pretentious to have.
When
'cause-
have you seen like other than a 500? When have you seen a Fiat? Because they have like 5 models.
I see so many 500s. I don't see a single other one,
Yep.
like ever.
Yep.
I don't see
'Cause
the
no one
old
buys any of the
SUV,
other
the
ones.
new SUV. It's just the 500. That
They
I
have
see.
the Panda and the Panda 4x4, but
Yeah.
you don't see those ever because the Fiat are literally they are the 500.
Yeah.
It's the only thing keeping the brand alive, and their sales are decreasing because, believe it or not, it's a terrible car.
They're very much a one brand or one car
They're
brand.
trying to switch to EV, and
Yeah.
they can't because the market for the Fiat 500 isn't the same as the 500e.
Yeah. And that's the
They
yeah.
can't make that transition. They are screwed essentially. So they're trying to do something to kind of recapture any brand recognition. That's all.
And that means no more grey cars.
Bring back the Punto. Bring back the Punto.
The Fiat Punto. What do I? That sounds bad. If anything, Fiat
it
Punto.
was just a hatchback. It was just a normal
this
hatch.
thing. It looks
Yeah,
like a baby
it was-
Jaguar. Is what it looks like.
It was just a generic hatch they made for absolute ever, but then they cancelled it.
that's why
that
I-
would sell better than the 500 today. I guarantee it.
If they revamped it, sure. if they like.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it would be like a regular hatchback.
It would just be a regular hatch. It's 4-door, 5-seater. Stick the Fiat 500 engine in it, sure, but it would sell better than the 500 because it doesn't have the stigma of the 500.
And they're closer to that market than an SUV is to the 500, right? Like,
Fiesta's been cancelled. What does this look like?
exactly right. It's like, it's like the Animosity podcast compared to this podcast, right? Animosity was nothing to do with me, really. It was or cars, really. It was just a general thing. That's Fiat doing the SUV. It's so like. My main channel is the best seller. Animosity, loved it, didn't make much sense.
Fiat
This
need
is
to realise-
car-based. It's connected.
Fiat, yeah. They need to
this-
realise that small cars are their bread and butter. SUVs and the 124 Spider are what they can get away with when they've got the money.
Yeah.
They need to, instead of releasing the 600e, release a Punto E or something.
I was going to say, a Fiat hatchback, I kind of would want to see what they do with a Fiat hatchback,
Like
honestly.
this modernised, like the Abarth version of this would look pretty sick, I imagine. But like, no,
I was
you
gonna
don't
say,
get
'cause,
a new
I
car that would sell well.
I assume it would look like the, on a base level, I like this revamp. Obviously, it's only fresh, but like, I would like to see what this as that kind of revamp would look like. The Punto
Yeah.
as a new Abarth revamp. But making it so they're not selling any grey cars anymore is a really dumb decision.
But the Punto's default color, like when you bought one, was orange. It was neon orange.
Yeah.
They've done it before when they had good cars. They got rid of their best-selling cars and just focused all development on the 500. So now obviously it sells well.
Yeah.
But they are actually stuck in a hole. They can't make anything other than the 500 because it doesn't sell. Like,
Which
what,
again-
they had the 124 Spider for, like, what, 4 years before they had to get rid of that because it just didn't sell.
A hatchback is a lot closer to the 500. And
They're
that's the main
suffering
thing.
a YouTuber mentality.
Yeah.
Like, they are actually stuck making the 500, but they're not allowed to make the 500 after a certain amount of time. But they can't make anything else.
Yeah, which sucks.
Like, their days are numbered unless they can get something else new out. But
maybe they could just
a
get
Punto.
by on 500s and the 2 SUVs they sell every year.
No one's brought a 500e in how long? Euro 7 will cripple the 500 sales.
Yeah. But from that, we can move on to the next segment of the Stick Drift podcast, which I think it's a bit of an Easter egg here. Well, not an Easter egg, it's a surprise, because I have no idea which one of these tabs is next. So it's either Jaguar or it's either Alpine. So it's either, you sure? Or, yeah, sure. And Alpine has Autocar. It is Alpine has confirmed 7 new EVs by 2030, along with a £200 million investment in its F1 team.
I mean, they're fueled by. They're literally doing this because they have money now.
I will say, on a base level, W Alpine, because great to see them winning, because they are top 1 car brand. So good on Alpine for absolutely winning and having the 200 million to invest in an F1 team, plus the hatchback, plus the regular Alpine, plus the Alpine hill climb that they just did, or the GT or something. But this is worrying news. You know what this is to me? This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is about to get Marvel, because they did a good. They did a very good. They even built up to a good. And now they're like, oh, we can do a good? We'll do it 50 times and it'll definitely still be just as good at the end.
They want to become a mainstream brand. They want to become a Renault, a Fiat, a Citroen.
I liked them because they weren't that
but
though.
But to do that, they're going to have to cut costs in so many places.
And I assume bump up revenue in so many places with different types of car genres.
I reckon what's the hatch called? The B. Forget what the hatch is called.
The A Summit, right? A2. I don't know what the Alpine hatch. Alpine.
Yeah. A290.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, I'll plug my headset.
I feel like that's going to be their last unique vehicle, because if it gets to market in the way that it's shown in the images, it's going to have McLaren F1 seating with like a center wheel, and I feel like that's going to be their last unique vehicle.
Oh my god, it has center wheel? Wait, what?
Yeah, it has. You drive. It's like McLaren F1. You got the driver's seat in the center of the car, and the 2 passenger seats are flanking it.
That's kind of cool.
Like, it's actually It's an interesting concept, but I feel like that's it. That is the end of the development, because if they're trying to go mainstream,
block, but
unless they need something to differentiate.
I was gonna say,
differentiate them.
I would be fine with all of these. Hey, tell you what, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would be fine with every single one of these if each one of them was going into the genre that they're going into, but still did something unique and still looked unique.
If they use the center steering as a Alpine feature, like every single one of their cars has driver's seat in the middle.
I feel like that would niche them too much. Like, the mass market is just blokes.
It could still be a 5-seater.
I guess, yeah, but like, the mass market is what, like, people in their like 20s and 30s are most of the people with cars, right? It might just not be like, if it's an SUV with center steering, I doubt anyone's really gonna buy that, is the issue. It
Well,
would
if
be
they
nice,
market it
but
as increased practicality or increased safety, I'm sure there are people to buy it up.
yeah, I guess they could like
Because
spin
it'll
it and
have more
market it.
seating. Instead of
Yeah,
having 2 seats in the front, you'd have 3.
the
Well, you can still have
hatchback
3 in the
drivers.
back. You could have a 6-seater hatchback,
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
which,
Uh,
if you need that extra seat,
mm,
it is the only car that will give you that option in a hatchback.
mm. But I definitely see the center steering working for a hatchback driver over working for an SUV driver. Like an SUV driver, realistically, is a parent, right? And I think the gimmickiness of center steering would just be too much for just your average, not into car things at all
But the
parent.
average SUV owner buys an SUV because they have kids, right?
Yeah.
Increased seating capacity and a reduced space would
If it
benefit
did
that
have
market.
increased seating, yeah. Also, people learn to drive on the left side, right? So it's like maybe that would confuse them too much. It might be too foreign, is what I'm saying, right? It might just be too much. It might be too much brain power to use to pick up center steering for everything.
Depend if they market it as a sports feature, like it's
Yeah.
sporty, then sure, yeah.
Mm.
If they market it as practicality,
Yeah, like safer, practicality, all of
can
that, yeah. Then sure,
I
yeah.
can see it working, but it just solely depends how they angle it. If it's yeah.
I like Alpine cause they were the cool car brand with like 3 cars. They like when Alpine first re-emerged with that really cool revamp of their old school car. I was like, okay. I think I initially remember being a bit confused because it had the 2 circle and then the whatever. But I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I liked that it was like a heritage revamp. It was a Top Gun Maverick.
They're
And
making
then
3 SUVs.
oh, is it a 3 of these Shadows
One of
SUVs?
them's the A290. They're making a C segment crossover, so it's going to be like Vauxhall Mokka size.
Yeah.
An electric A110, an
Yeah.
A310, which is going to be a 4-seater sports coupe based on the A110.
Is this in the article? Or where is this?
Yeah, in the article, yeah. And then they're going to do a D and E segment, so which are competing with the Porsche Macan and the Porsche Cayenne.
Macan Cayenne. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go with all of these individually. Are none of these sports cars? Or not
One of
sports
them,
cars, but like
one of them's an
A110.
A110 EV, and the other is an A310, which are both 2-seater sports and a 4-seater sports coupe.
Okay, I might be giving too much of the benefit of the doubt. I wanna say I'll allow it. Look. Look. The
But they're
only
not going to be
reason...
unique.
No, fair.
They're going to be Renault parts bin. They're going to be Megans. They're going to be
Yeah.
Renault Megans parts bin.
But, hear me out, the SidWaj channel. The SidWaj channel is a known thing that works. I'm delving into it. I'm not doing anything crazy unique in that space, but I'm doing like some unique stuff along with it. But it's kind of only a separate thing, which is still its own thing in entertainment, to fund the good stuff. I am kind of happy to go make 3 SUVs. I dare ya. Make 3 SUVs as long as, again,
Is there a market for 3 Alpine SUVs?
that I don't know about. That is like, because they're definitely
There's
going
barely a
into...
market for the A110.
There's barely a market for SidWaj, right? Like, it's not exactly exploded. It's just like, it's a wheel channel. Like, it's just sort of like, can
I
they
reckon
break
this
into
solely
it?
depends on the success of the A290.
I can't wait till we see this image lit, by the way. Like, I really want to see these cars.
They're going to lie out one by one.
Yeah, but...
Well, I mean, you got the B110, the A110, and the A310.
Mm.
Then you've got a C segment. We've got a Vauxhall Mokka sized SUV, a Cayenne sized SUV, and a Macan sized SUV. I think there's one more there, is it? That leaves one spare.
So, well, the hatchback, the A110,
Hatchback,
other
the
sports
A110,
car.
the A310, the C segment crossover,
Did you
and
say-
the D and E segment.
So 3 SUVs.
3 SUVs.
I've counted 6. Did they say 7? They said 7, right? So I'm missing
1,
one.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7 in that image, and there's only 6 listed here.
But with these 7, 2 of the headlights are the exact same. 2 of the headlights are the exact same, and
I
neither
reckon
of those
the
are...
2 with the same will be the A110 and the A310. Because they're going to be the exact same. One's 2-seater, one's 4-seater.
Is the A110 not a... the A110's actually gonna be revamped? Oh, no, I
Yep.
liked the A110.
It's going to be turned into an EV, so it's going to weigh about 4 million tons.
Okay, yeah, sure, but I
And it's
don't know.
specifically aimed at the US market as well. So I say goodbye to a good car.
Oh, sure, yeah, but I like the look of the A110. It's such a good-looking car, though, man. Oh, maybe I'm just afraid of change, but I really like this front of car, and I don't like this front of car, like this, like, line. Hopefully, if it's just that headlight style on this, but a bit more jagged looking, I think I could firm it. Like,
I reckon it depends whichever one gets announced. If whatever next one of these three gets announced has center steering, I reckon they're going to run with it as a feature across all of them.
yeah, I mean, the A110
Because
doesn't.
I don't
right?
see why they would pump so much R&D into it for a hatchback if they're not going to use it in other cars.
Like, they are really firming massive expansion. Like this is a massive endeavor.
With what money?
Like, yeah,
200
exactly.
mil doesn't even cover R&D of one car.
And that's only going to Formula One. Like, and then it's all this for on top of that.
They aren't making enough money at the minute to fund this.
Yeah.
This is all a pipe dream. I assume riding on the success that the A290 does well.
So the A310 is just a four-door
It's not
A110
four-door.
EV.
Four-seater, two-door sports coupe.
Oh, wait, the Alpine
It's
A310
essentially
is a thing? It's a thing.
No.
It's going to be
It's a
another
thing.
revamp. Yeah. I
a
searched
thing.
A310. It's this thing.
Well, it's not going to look anything like that, is
No,
it? Let's
it
be
won't.
honest.
But no, it obviously won't. But the Alpine looks like the Alpine, so why wouldn't this Alpine look like this Alpine, right? Like, the A110 looks like the whatever the A110 was based on.
That is a horrendous shape.
I reckon this
Actually got
modernized...
monster truck suspension on the front. Oh, what is
Okay,
that?
no, sure. I mean the profile of it. Like, the A110 isn't crazy close to its predecessor.
That's more of what Alpine used to do. They make rally cars. This is going to be a Grand Tourer. This is not going to be.
If it just followed this even slightly as a heritage thing,
it's going to be a long wheelbase A110.
But what if it looks slightly like it though? Please.
It's not going to.
It's weird to use the name.
They haven't got infinite R&D money. They want to be a mass market brand, not a boutique.
No, it's cool though. Like Alpine was like the IRL Top Gun Maverick with the A110, and I loved it, and I was back in it because it was the old school one that they redid as a new car. The SUVs, I'm happy to not care about them. Leave it on them to.
Oh, one of them's a hypercar. That's what the middle one is, I guarantee it.
Oh, so it is gonna be. So it's gonna be A110. Oh, is that the missing one out of the 7 that we were talking about?
Yeah, there's 7 now.
I think I'm happy with that. Look, 3 SUVs, sure. Those are gonna have to.
All of them are EV.
Yeah. 3 SUVs. Those are gonna have to make money. So sure, toss those in the back. A hatchback. A sedan-like sports car.
They aren't even breaking even at the minute. Yeah, this is never happening. They aim to break even in 2026.
Okay, well, that's a bit soon, fellas.
They are
Look,
operating at a massive loss then, if that's what they want to do by 2026.
The advertising budget alone would have to be massive. Like,
this probably solely depends on the success in F1 as well, because if they become a backmarket team, they will be hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
They aren't getting any of these to market. The A1, A290 will come to market. We'll sell about 5 copies, because copies, not a game. 5 units, because it's going to be like 50 grand. And then they're going to be like, why aren't we selling cars? I don't know, because maybe you took a 25 grand Renault, stuck center steering in the thing, which I can't imagine is cheap. They're gonna add carbon fiber because it has forged carbon fiber front bumpers. They are not making money.
I really like Alpine though, so I like the fact that they're
What's the market for Alpine? Who buys an Alpine?
Someone who is a top 1% human being. That's who buys an Alpine.
A person who wants it's mid-engine, isn't it? A mid-engine, mid-rear engine, rear-wheel drive sports car. What is the hatchback? an EV all-wheel drive hatchback.
It's cool looking
There is no
though.
market cross in that at
But
all.
it looks cool. Have you
It
considered that it
weighs
looks
an
cool?
absolute ton. It's going to be way too heavy to be good.
But it doesn't have to be good when it looks cool. Like,
Who is going to drop? Like, what is it going to cost?
think about this though.
Look at that for the forged carbon front bumper. No one can afford this.
But look how cool it looks though.
It looks sick, yeah.
Yeah, but like, also what I really
But
don't
why
like
would you
is
not
that-
buy the Renault version of this?
What I
Because
really
Renault will
don't
come
like
out with a version.
is in the fleet. You can tell that that's the only really unique one is the issue, which I guess is what kind of has to happen when you're making like a bunch of cars. So the gist here is 3 SUVs, A110. So 3 SUVs, 2-door sports car, hatchback.
Well, it's essentially
Sedan.
going to be crossover, small SUV, big SUV.
Yeah.
2-door sports coupe, four-seater sports coupe, hatchback hypercar.
I'm fine with that.
All
Honestly,
while
like,
operating at a massive loss.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're basically chucking money to become a mainstream brand.
They are
And
going to do a Saab. Like, it's just a matter of
If
time.
it works, though, think if like in 10
If
years
it
and
works,
this
go on, drop
works-
50 grand on an Alpine hatchback.
No, but like, yeah,
If it works. Let's become a mainstream brand. Releases a Renault 5 with forged carbon front bumpers.
but if
It's
it
a brain dead
works,
move.
say there's a dream scenario where this
What do
works.
they release after the hatchback? If it's the hypercar, they are screwed. It's the crossover. Okay.
That's the next one to be revealed
Yeah.
or released. So that'll
It's-
work.
It's Renault 5, well, the A290, the crossover, which I'm almost certain will be based on a Renault Megane. The electric A110 in right. A290.
Yes.
Next year they announced the crossover. Then in 2027 we get the electric A110. And then the A310 comes out by 2030. But then they walk back, and then in 2028 and 2029 they're going to release the Megane, not the Megane, the Macan and Cayenne, retrospectively.
Yeah. I think what will be weird is having an SUV and then releasing a supercar. That's gonna be a bit weird because it's like you kind of like you've established yourself. Like they're like spreading themselves everywhere. They're
Working
invading
with the
every
Renault
market.
group, they
Like-
are going to be pass-bins to oblivion.
But the thing is, right? Sure, they're trying to make a turnover now. Alpine was.
By 2026.
I'm not gonna lie though. Alpine was already Renault's loss center. but,
Alpine
like,
was literally Renault's tax write-off.
yeah, like I was gonna say, it's their loss center. It's made for them to say, hey, look, we lost this much money from this brand, so less tax, less tax.
When you say
'Cause it's-
Renaults, they're owned by the French government. So.
I guess, yeah. But, like, what's it called? It's cheaper to... well, I assume they're, like, subsidiaries in each country as well, right? I assume they etc. But, like, it's... You get more out of it creating a car, losing that money, and being like, hey, I lost this money, so obviously, you
There's
know...
a difference, the company running at a slight loss, and like, each one of these cars is going to cost, like, at least 500 million in R&D.
Renault as
minimum.
a whole, do you think Renault as a whole can't justify that? I'm asking, I'm not being
Have
like...
you seen what state Renault are in at the minute?
What state are they in?
They've turned the Megane into an SUV
Oh,
because
yeah,
they
I
are
guess.
borderline running out of money as it is. Like, they are trying everything to... Well, that's why they rebranded the F1 team to Alpine. Because they are trying to salvage something out of nothing. Like, you get one engine option in each one of their cars, one trim level. Like, Renault are on the brink of... Like, they have two models. You have the Clio, they have three. The Clio, the Megane, and the Captur. However it's pronounced. It's French. But, like... Captur, yes, something like that. But they are really, really close to, I think, just hitting a wall.
But then again, I searched Renault worth, and in the last, what is that, year to this day, they definitely dipped. They
What
definitely.
were go 5 year? What were they at pre-COVID?
Where's pre-COVID? What, this? Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa. Oh,
they haven't
wait.
recovered because they cancelled every single good car they made.
Oh, Jesus. I said, yeah, was that in February? Was that when they did that? Because it looks like it was February, March 2020.
I think it was around 2020 they turned the Megane into an SUV.
Yeah. Jumped a bit, then went down a bit, then climbed a bit, then went down a little, and now they're kind of up.
Go to Max. I want to see it. Yeah.
So they were killing it in 2000. Okay, well, we know what happened in 2008.
They took that extremely hard. I don't know how they managed that.
Yeah, and then obviously slowly climbed back up. God, I'm so glad I was like toddler brained in 2008 and didn't hear a word of whatever happened in 2008.
I don't know. If you had a load of money, you could have bought a house for like 5 pence. So.
I should have. I should have been 5 years old buying a house. That's
You
what I should have done.
invested in Renault in 2008.
Exactly. I'd still
like-
be up. I'd be up a whole.
They are
20
doing
euro.
well compared to what they used to be.
Yeah.
Like, where were they at in like 2015?
2015 was about. Well, currently they're at €40. 2015 was about like €80.
Yeah, around 2015 is when they started to cancel models, and it
This
sort
is-
of lines up with.
Yeah, this is
The
stock
fall off.
price, I assume. By the way, just to, for
Let's just
context.
stop.
Yeah. Oh, nice. This is stock price, by the way, just to clarify. But they are still an €11 billion market cap company, so it's not like it's still 11 billion. I'm sure out of 11, almost 12 billion. I'm sure
What's
you
their
can...
market share?
A market share? I'll see the Renault market share. Renault market share.
What's their UK market share? It might just be a UK issue.
Maybe. 6.2 is highlighted for me. 6.2%. Like, that seems pretty big compared to how many car brands there are. I assume Ford has probably like one of the biggest, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Renault, including Dacia, only has a 4.5% UK market share.
Yeah, UK.
And
So,
considering how common Dacias are, that is tragic.
but what that does sound like is the UK's is lower than Renault's global market share.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually.
Because they
Europe.
only make goofy.
Oh, no, to be fair, yeah, no, it's 2% lower than their Europe market share. So it's like... So it is specifically the UK where it's like, oh, Renault.
But that UK market share is 100% more biased towards Dacia as well, because I see so much more Dacias around than... It's about 50-50, actually. So it's probably about 2% for Renault,
Yeah.
which is tragic. I think Dacia's, that will include Dacia as well for the European market share, and I imagine they are super common where Dacia are from.
But... Say this worked.
They would have to pull off a miracle for this to work. But yeah, say it works.
Imagine 10 years from now, and people are buying Alpine SUVs. People are buying the Alpine hatchback.
Renault will
own
not
one.
let Alpine outshadow them.
I mean, yeah, I guess, right. They'll still
They
be.
just won't.
I think that's why they'll be the gimmick. But I'm sure the SUV will have like a specific. Each one will probably have a gimmick, right? It will be weird to.
You can't become a mainstream brand by being gimmicks.
The weirdest thing for me is gonna be having 3 SUVs in your lineup and having a supercar. That doesn't mesh for me. Like,
Well, they're gonna have one of the biggest lineups of brands that are sold in the UK. Like Vauxhall has. What, maybe 4 cars? Ford's got a lot, to be fair. Ford, Volkswagen, Mercedes, and BMW have a ton.
yeah.
But like Citroen, Fiat, all that have like 3 or 4 cars. Alpine are gonna have an absolute ton.
It is literally. They're
see
dipping everywhere. Like they're literally dipping everywhere, which is wild.
Unless they are parts bin Renaults, they
Yeah.
are not gonna make any money back.
I think the SUVs probably will be, and I think it's fine if they are
Depends what they're
really.
priced at. If they're
'Cause-
gonna stick forged carbon fiber on a Vauxhall Mocha competitor,
Yeah.
it's not even a compare at that
Yeah.
point, is it? It's...
But it's just they're definitely a loss center, but they're not like it's just like how much loss.
It seems like Alpine don't want to be the loss leader for Renault, but
Yeah.
Renault want to keep them in that place. It's
But it might be that they're the loss leader, but they're like, fuck it, let's use this to do cool shit, because that's what they're doing, right? Like, the hatchback, the A110, they went just, oh, fuck it, a hill climb version of the A110, right?
Renault's fate depends on the Renault 5 when that comes out.
Yeah.
Alpine's depends on the Alpine version, essentially.
Yeah.
If Renault can get that Renault 5 out for what they say it costs, with the specs they say they can, they will, like, their market share will double in a year. But can they do it?
Alpine is still my personal favorite car brand. I will say that for sure. I don't
know why they didn't just take the Renault 5, lighten it a bit. I still think forced carbon on the thing, but lighten it a bit, and I don't know, 20% increase in power and make it blue, and then just shove that out the door.
I was gonna say the concept artwork when like the car wow renders, etc., all of those, the concept artwork was just Renault 5s in blue. Like, they were just Renault 5s in blue, but the Renault said Alpine.
Say they want to be a serious manufacturer, but like they are Abarth. They are what Abarth are to Fiat, but Abarth aren't sticking forged carbon and redesigning the entire car when they're still making the Abarth 500.
And that's why the 500 isn't selling, because it doesn't have forged carbon 500.
I wonder what brand's more profitable, Alpine or Abarth.
But from that, and I'm keeping my goddamn eye on this. Turn these damn lights on. But from that, we can go on to the final main segment of the Stick Drift podcast, and that is something I wanted to talk about, which just was kind of intriguing. And that was Lucid Air being in big talks. This is from Autoblog. In big talks to be bought, at least a chunk, being bought by Jaguar. And this is a big thing, because it's kind of in the series of bits of news we've had about Jaguar. Because Jaguar's in a bit of a rut at the moment. They have an SUV. They used to be this high-end car brand with the E-Type and all of those Jaguars. Then they had the F-Type, I'd say a fairly popular sporty two-seater. Then they started making completely generic SUVs and sedans. And now they recently decided, hey, we're still going to make these SUVs and sedans.
Aston Martin being owned by Ford killed them for that period of time. They are still recovering from that.
Oh wait, am I going crazy? I said Jaguar. I just lied straight up. Not Jaguar, this is Aston Martin buying
Aston Martin.
Right? What is Aston Martin's story? Oh, what have we seen about Aston Martin recently? I was just dogging on Jaguar, I guess.
Aston Martin, they just kind of exist nowadays. Like, they don't make particularly popular cars. They're just kind of... It's not even like you see one, you're like, whoa, that's an Aston Martin, that's cool. Yeah. It's just kind of like,
To be fair, I still would. They're not that common for me. I still see them and I'm kind of like, oh, that's cool. Okay, well,
not that common in Milton Keynes. That actually is surprising.
Well, what's it called? To be fair then, this story's slightly less interesting if it's not Jaguar, because Jaguar is funny to make fun of, because they're doing the whole, we're making
Jaguar could not afford this.
No. But if it's Aston Martin, what this really means, so this is from Autoblog, Aston Martin will pay $232 million in shares and cash to Lucid in exchange for battery electric powertrain components. The company said Monday the UK manufacturer also extended a year-long cooperation with Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz already have EV and EV technology, though, no?
They don't have EVs that sell. They have the EQS.
Yeah.
Or it's the EQC, I think, and the EQS.
Yeah.
I've never seen one.
Yeah. I saw the ads for them. I remember seeing the ads for the Mercedes EVs and just being like, why is it so round? It looks bad. Like,
yeah.
my
girlfriend
the one
that you can't open the bonnet off.
Yeah.
It's that car.
My girlfriend at the time, she even said, like, even she disliked it. And she was just a regular person, right? Like, she didn't like it either. So, like, the regular consumer, bad-looking car, still. But, sure, Mercedes, whatever. What
I
I'm
mean,
more intrigued about is that this means Aston Martins are going EV, is what this means.
well, they have to.
Yeah.
And this partnership might be because they have, that Saudi Arabian shareholder that has like 49% of Lucid. Also
Yeah.
has 20% of Aston Martin.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah. Aston
Oh.
Martin have struggled for cash forever. Like I think they're owned by
Okay.
Geely and Saudi Arabia, essentially.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, a couple episodes ago on the Stick Drift podcast, we talked about a story that Lucid Air is not even an American car brand. It is majority owned by what was it? Someone in the UAE? Was it UAE or was it
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. So they're owned by some I think it was an investment company or something in Saudi Arabia. So they're a Saudi Arabian car brand, and clearly they own a bit of Aston Martin. And clearly, I guess what happened was Aston Martin has to do EVs at some point. So big Saudi Arabia man woman was like, well, we need Lucid to actually start selling the cars that we're claiming to make, so let's shuffle all this money over there, please. Aston Martin, give Lucid money. Like,
I think it's like half shares, half money, but
yeah.
I don't know how shuffling shares around between two companies works tax-wise. But
Yeah, what's kind of happened is a parent has gone to two of their kids and gone, now you two share, okay? He needs more money so he can actually start selling cars instead of just, giving Marquez Brownlee one and then not selling any, or whatever they do. And you need to become EV, so Lucid, give him your EV technology. Aston, give him the money.
Geely's the same one that owns Volvo and Lotus as well, by the way.
Who?
Geely is the majority owner of Aston,
And
which
who
also
else?
own Lotus and Volvo.
Volvo's a wild one there. Lotus is interesting because, they're EV now as well. Are they? Or the Lotus SUV
They've
is?
got like one or two. Well, they've got one out, the SUV, and they're going to have the sedan out soon.
Okay, yeah. There's a Lotus sedan. Lotus...
We talked about it.
Oh, as in they don't have a sedan right now. Oh, that thing, yes. Don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
I'll whack it up on screen for audio, for video viewers. Yeah, don't like it.
Lotus found it would actually pretty blow that up if you saw it IRL, but yeah.
Yeah, hey, this very obviously render looks way better than the actual thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit lower. It's a bit lower and it's a bit sleeker. Is the only thing that's better about this one than this. Really.
Yeah, a lot more expensive to make, I imagine as well.
I guess that's the issue. But yeah, that's just an interesting thing because Aston Martin EV. So I guess if they're only just now buying the technology, I imagine it's not going to be like 2.
No, you're not going to see
years.
a car for 5 years at least.
Yeah, yeah. Till we actually.
Because in Lucid actually got a car that you can really buy.
But from that. I guess we can go on to the final segment of the Stick Drift podcast. These are, of course, the 2 segments, one entailing gaming and one entailing motorsports. And there has been a fair bit of gaming news this week. Some unfortunate, some very promising. Now, look, you are very skeptical. I think I am way too optimistic. You are way too pessimistic. I can admit
About what?
Everything, honestly, everything. I will play devil's advocate till I have digging my own grave. Digging
my own grave. Yeah.
But you will instantly be like, no. So.
Who's right most of the time?
Me. Unbound is the only place I can remember that you were right, and I'll give you that one. I had so much.
I'm calling it. I will be right about Test Drive as well. I was.
Again, I'm with Test Drive. Even I'm kind of like. I kind of don't like it. I kind of don't like it.
It seems like it's stuck in a terrible place with development right now.
Like, where's the game? We'll get onto that though. Unbound, I could see myself enjoying that game like 2 years ago, so I was so optimistic. But then, Oh, that's the only place
Trusting
you've ever
EA
been
to
right.
do anything is criminal. After they've cancelled Project Cars 4, anything they do is just bad.
That was your canon event. That was where you stopped trusting.
Yeah.
Like people go through people get cheated on and don't trust again. They cancelled Titanfall 3 and Project Cars 3.
Titanfall 2, 3, I mean, is what else has started, and Project Cars 4 was the final straw.
And you've learned never to trust again.
Yeah.
But the big news, and look again, like I was saying, you're very pessimistic. But I think after all of this, and again, I'm gonna run away with it because you can't, because you're really bad at jumping around stuff and not saying stuff you're
I
not
don't know,
supposed to.
get ready to censor stuff, I don't know.
Motorfest. We got a video from the Motorfest. We got the Crew Summer Showcase. That was over the last episode of the Stick Drift podcast.
You are the most biased Motorfest news source in history if anyone just looks at your YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, but in my defense, anyone who doesn't know I have a YouTube channel outside of the podcast, I hate Motorfest on that channel. It's a Motorfest hate channel exclusively. But we got the Crew Summer Showcase, and we got a few cool things in the Crew Summer Showcase. We'll begin.
Hey, boy.
The Crew 2 is they've confirmed that the Season 9 is the last season. Why this blonde guy? I just noticed this.
That is a trim that should be banned.
Sure, that's a haircut. Look how giddy he gets, though. I've got it muted. I don't know what Marlu says to get him like this.
me when Project Cars 4's re-announced.
He is so... What? Nothing was announced that meant bro should be like that. Like, what?
He saw a Bronco in the background and just started jumping for joy.
I need to know what she says. What does she say that he's so giddy?
Let's not waste time.
Oh, let's find out my speakers. There we go.
Let me show you what Motorfest has planned for you.
She's like, let me show what Motorfest has planned for you. And he's like, ah! Ah!
Maybe he's just really excited, I don't know.
He's so happy. But the Crew 2 has announced Season 9. It is going to be titled American Legends, and it finally brings the long-asked for feature that is the race creator. People have asked for the race creator endlessly, and now finally...
Watch it not be a Motorfest.
Hmm?
Watch it not be a Motorfest.
I didn't even think about that, really. Oh, yeah, I guess. But the Crew 2... Look, we're going into Motorfest. If the Crew 2 didn't get something like this, the game would have died a lot quicker after Motorfest than now it won't, because it's got a feature where people can make their own continuation of the game. We're gonna
say that,
wait
did
and
Race
see.
Creator make the Crew 1 that relevant after the Crew 2's release?
That's
Like, it's
a
got about 4 players.
That's a very fair point. Hopefully, because this is a more focused update, it's slightly more in-depth. But we obviously got the Race Creator. That I've played with it, but of course, I can't say anything just yet. That will be, I guess, next episode of the podcast. We'll talk about the actual Race Creator having come out. If this episode comes out any other day other than Monday, then how was it? I guess I can say everything. The Race Creator was the announced feature. They also announced the end of the season system. Kind of made sense. The Motor Pass was already winding down.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't crew credit only anymore. Old Motor Pass cars are coming back now. Like, it was already a winding down feature as a whole, entirely. So, no more seasons. There's just gonna be updates every now and then. I assume they'll be every 4 years, and I assume...
Every 4 years.
Did I say 4 years? 4 months.
That would be a good update schedule, to be fair.
Every 4 months, and I do not see them adding a new feature of any kind. I see them announcing the list of summits. I see them announcing...
It's going to be summits and a few cars.
And a few cars, yeah. Yeah. I imagine summits and a few cars and bug fixes if something's broken. I don't see...
They had a quality of life update.
Like, what's that? The
60
last quality of
FPS
life?
patch.
60 FPS patch, yeah. Yeah.
That's criminal.
Which was forced
PC
mode,
hasn't got
so-
a quality of life since the color grading change.
But I don't see them adding a new event. Maybe a new event, but I reckon it will just be,
I reckon they're going to stop that. That's what race creators for.
yeah, I reckon a theme and then some summits. I reckon they'll announce the summits and they'll announce the theme of the whole list of summits. Like, it'll be, oh, this is America, and what it's probably going to do is it's probably just going to play second fiddle to Motorfest. We know that Motorfest is going to have seasons. I assume if the specific month that Motorfest is in when this crew update happens is American-based, they'll do an American-themed update, and it'll just be summits that are American-themed to continue the returning... Oh! And they'll return more Motorpass cars, right? That's all it'll be. The update in my head is just going to be summit roster, bug fixes, 2 or 3 cars. Considering returning Motorpass cars, I would maybe assume not even 2 or 3 cars. I would think it might just be summits, all returning summits only, no new summit cars, and only returning Motorpass cars as the vehicle drops. That's all I
imagine there's
see.
going to be some dirt cheap licenses though that will be Motorfest and Crew Cross.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Right? Maybe there will be ones because obviously we're not gonna be able to get the EVs. I don't think we're gonna get like the Charger Red Eye backed into the Crew 2 because we know it's in the Crew 3. I don't think we're gonna get Urus back ported. I don't think we're gonna get
No.
Nissan
They'll keep
Silvia
hype
S14.
cars from Motorfest as
Yeah.
a selling point.
I reckon that's what happens though. So it's not gonna be seasons anymore. It's gonna be updates, and they look laid out in the year in the roster as like they're gonna be 4 months long. But we're just gonna have to see what they are. Here's the thing. Maybe it doesn't matter what they are. The race creator's nice. I'm gonna be getting so much content out of that. Like, that will single-handedly carry me to Motorfest. Not to mention the beta. Not to mention that, Jesus, time just disappears. It's only like 3 months till Motorfest now, I think. Is it like 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, a month's already gone by. We're already 1/4 of the way there.
When's it come? September 11th?
September 14th, 3 days early access, yeah. So,
So September 11th.
yes,
what,
it's just a weird date to say.
2 months.
Is it 2 months?
2 months, like 10 days. Well, because July 11th,
I
July
thought
11th
it
to
was
August
in my
11th,
head.
August 11th to September 11th.
Yeah, in my head I wanted to say 2, but I thought you would be like, no, 3 months. But no, it's, August,
It's 2 months and like
September.
a few days.
Yeah, we're in July, August, September. Like, then, like, I will probably have stopped making Crew 2 videos by 2 months from now. 2 months! Oh my god! Wait, there's only like, Jesus.
The bank account just lit up for a second there. Jesus.
I'm like, wait, what's, okay. Ooh, okay, this stuff's getting stressful. But we're now in July, and Motorfest news. So, what we got from Motorfest, on the other hand, compared to Crew 2, we got some big announcement. We got the full festival roster, but I thought this would just be, hey, it's going to be the Summit weekly, and it's going to be this monthly, and you'll have this daily. I thought that's all it was going to be. They announced the full first year of content in this announcement. So, what they did was, God, looking at these cars, it's definitely Crew 2-esque, but everything's just so much better looking. Like, it's like, this Porsche close up, it's like, sure, if you made it a bit more plastic looking, it would be the Crew 2, but the fact that it isn't plastic looking, very good looking game. Cool cars, Hummer EV. So we first of all got the fact that the Summit's returning. We got the main stage, which is going to be a monthly thing. So it's going to be a monthly themed thing, and we'll get more on how that works later. We got a bunch of content on drift gameplay. We got videos of drifting, of the playlists. Pardon me. We know that the playlists we're going to get on launch, 15 of them. Then we got the first official announcement of the way the PvP is going to work. So, every single hour, there is going to be rotating grand races, which all we know described as right now is a randomly generated race with fast fave and 28 player lobbies.
If there's collision, good luck.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Imagine this image right here with collision on. R8 is turning left and wiping everyone else out.
That is biggest car wins. Most ramming power wins.
Car with the most mass is going to be better.
If there's collisions in planes, then that's gonna be even more funny. Because we see planes there in this image. Oh, that's great, actually. But yes, the Grand Race, a 28-player, fast faving, randomly generated. Randomly generated? I back that. That I can say that, like, as a base level. Good. That will keep it fresh.
Is it randomly generated like Contractor? Where it's
true, where it's
generated
like
routes from the same start to end.
Yeah. We don't know, I guess. We'll have to wait to see with that. But then we've got the other thing, which Grand Race, that looks pretty cool. Then we have Demolition Royale, which looked, I assumed, a demolition-based thing. Yeah, so just like you can see the zone there, which I guess spoils what I'm about to say. It's a demolition-based thing. Oh, just demo derby, a little arena. It's a battle royale.
Actually insane. They've got a battle royale in the Crew 3 Motorfest.
Drop in. You're in demo derby cars. There's bonuses still, so it's still like a demo derby event. And it's last crew standing. We are getting a Motorfest Battle Royale. God, do I want this to be good. Oh, please be good.
They need regular PvP alongside it, though. Like, gimmick
reckon?
modes are cool.
Yeah.
You can't play gimmick mode forever.
I guess, yeah.
You need standard PvP, which they haven't shown any of.
We're just gonna have to see, because, I mean, I guess this is the rotating roster, right? So, we're just gonna have to see what the non-rotating roster is, I guess.
Yeah.
These are very, very cool, though, on their own. Isolated, two cool things. Cool. The beta is when we're gonna be able to play them, I assume. And that's gonna be enjoyable, because I'm looking forward to it. But that was the online. We, of course, know that the return of the summit. Then we get to some really cool stuff. So, they start talking about the main stage and the season system that we're gonna have. So, straight away, we get Donut Media. Donut Media is in the Crew 3, which straight away is like, who's gonna tell Forza that Donut Media is having an affair? Because they're in bed. They've been dipping out to see the Crew while in bed with Forza this whole time. They were swiping on racing game Tinder while in Forza's arms. I would lose. I would have trust issues after this if I was Forza. And this isn't even the only one. So we get the confirmation that the Crew 3 is gonna have a season-based system. It's gonna be 4 months long, like the Crew 2. It's gonna be the first one's only gonna be 3 months though, but the regular ones are gonna be 4 months long. But it's not gonna be 4 months and split into sets of 2 months. It's gonna be 4 months and split into monthly, so sub themes. So what we have as our first one is cars from across the world. Month 1 of Motorfest is going to be American themed. American muscle power, pop culture, dust, racing. Month 2, Japanese themed. Big 4, custom, toge, original rice patty. I don't know what that is. Then month 3 is going to be European. Qualitat. Velocitar. Elegance. Luxury. Final battle. Which I guess
Final battle is very, very European.
Yeah, that'll, I assume, be a mix of the three, the only places that make cars, obviously. America, Japan, and Europe. But then we have and also, I want to say, as a base level, on the surface, seems like a better way of doing it than the Crew 2 has done it so far. The Crew 2's is every 4 months, and we have a split in the middle, where it's like the first one, and then the second one is the same thing but a different color scheme. And on a base level, this seems a much better way of doing it.
The other seasons are going to be 3 months too.
What's that?
The other seasons are going to be 3 months long.
Are they 3 months? Where is this?
Oh yeah, because September.
Yeah.
Obviously, 3 months is to December, which is when season 2 starts. December to March is 3 months.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, that's so much better of a way of doing it. Wait, what? Yeah.
I suppose they felt 2 was too short, 4 was too long. It was.
Yeah.
Episode 2s were dead by the end of month 4. So yeah, I'd assume it's a way of keeping more content going.
Yeah, but I want to say on a surface level, much better system. Like a 4 monthly split into 2.
Depends what the seasons are though.
I guess.
Say season 2 Hoonigan is one playlist. That we've been showing playlists, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
If it's just one playlist in like 5 cars for 3 months.
Well,
no.
I think we know that it. No, I think we know that it won't be that because we know that Hoonigan is also going to contain Donut Media, content creators. So I assume
it's going to be like Donut Hoonigan content creators for 3 months.
Yeah. I assume it'll be. Well, I guess Hoonigan's the first one, so I assume it'll be Hoonigan. Yeah, and then the other 2, Donut Media, and I can't imagine them shoving those all into one, so I assume it'll be a playlist each one, and a playlist a month, not terrible, given given summits as well, given the 4 monthly change, the PvP, the 2 game modes that we've found out about, the custom show, which is the other thing, which is like a fashion show every month, basically. Honestly, it's looking promising. I want to say 3 months split into 3 months split into those 3 months with sub themes. I want to say that's really promising. Like,
yeah,
that's gonna be
depends
something.
What we get in those 3 months, though. But yeah.
Oh yes, of course. But so far on the surface, better than the Crew 2 can be said for sure. But then we got some gameplays and shows of it. Obviously, we see the main stage. We got American Pop Culture, Custom Show, Muscle Powers, the overall year, I think. Then a bunch of American cars, a bunch of car confirmations, which I'm not going to run into on this episode of the podcast. We see a couple more things, but then we see that, of course, we got Hoonigan, but on top of Hoonigan, we're gonna see stuff like Chris Forsberg's return, Black Panther, Supercar Blondie, Donut Media, Hoonigan, Liberty Walk, all so more in-depthly cared about in the game than just a surface level. Like,
yeah.
I never played any of the Forza Donut Media stuff. Did they have the guy there talking? Like, I don't know if they did.
Oh, yeah, it was cringe.
Oh, did they? Oh.
They had a playlist, essentially. They had one of those, like, series. I don't know what they're called in Forza.
Was it acted as though they were in the game? Like, was it acted as though, we've come to Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair if that's cringy.
They can't act, believe it or not.
This seems like it's more from a meta perspective. This seems like it's more like, hey, we're Donut Media, and we're in this racing game now. But I don't know that. I'm just hoping it's like that. But yes, Donut Media, we see a couple of other shots. We got, obviously, the first seasons. We don't know what Season 3 is, but we know Season 2... Hoonigan, then Season 3, we don't know about. Then we've got a couple other shots, we got a couple other things somewhere. We see the Hoonicorn essentially confirming it's going to be in the game, but we don't see it in-game. I really want to see it in-game. One big question I've got is it going to be in Drift, is it going to be in Street, or is it going to be in both? But then we know that the American stuff, we see some more cars, we see the custom show, which is like, you make a car, and then I assume you can, like, publish it within that week, and when you're in the HQ, you can vote on cars that'll be randomly generated, I assume, and then one person wins every week. And whoever does the best in everything, I guess, gets their name right there in the very front of the...
It said permanently, didn't it? Permanently inscribed in the thing.
I don't think it said permanently. Let me hear this.
Motorfest Hall of Fame, forever cementing your place as a Motorfest legend.
forever cementing your place. I think that's more like you'll be forever remembered because you got onto there. Because it says the best person every month. So I assume it's more like it'll be the top 10 and the first place being there, and it'll be like, and now you'll forever be able to say that you were there, you know?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because them being there permanently would be wild. There's only a limited number of stars, right? But from that, that's most of all we got.
Pretty much it, really.
We saw the map as well. We saw behind the scenes, an extra behind the scenes video, and in that we saw the map. That looked very good. The graphic quality of the map looks so nice. The roads, there's not a lot of them, but they look really good. Like, they're really bendy roads, really cool looking, drifting roads. Couple of Ubisoft references. And all in all, the map looks pretty good for a small map. Obviously, we can't talk much on it in general. Then... Oh, should we have started with TDU? Because it's like you give the bad news first, right? Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Well, so unfortunately, TDU. I was watching a video by Alex7. It intrigued me. If anything, I think he already talked about how, yeah, by the way, TDU it's probably not going to be coming out this year. Apparently, that's what he said. Somewhere, because he mentioned in the video, guys, I already talked about this. But, in a recent video from Alex7, who we've had on the podcast before, TDU Solar Crown missing a newsletter, but should we be worried? But we shouldn't be worried yet. Possible beta, July news, and more. I believe he added that in later, the possible beta, July news, and more. I checked out this video. And there's the big harrowing thing that is kind of brushed over because it's not been like officially announced anywhere. The game is confirmed to now be shifted to 2024.
Yeah.
It's in the Nacon earnings report that TDU Solar Crown is now February or March 2024. More likely February so they can see within quarter earnings. Or end of quarter does kind of make sense because then you make a big loss, so less tax if you're doing quarterly tax accounting thing. So that one would, yeah, you'd get whatever.
Depends how it works in France.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. This is the UK system. But TDU Solar Crown 2024. When the game was announced for 2023, I think people were instantly like, what if it gets pushed to 2024? It's just, look, so the
It's meant to come out September 2023, by the way.
When was it supposed to originally come out? Was like
September, I think.
Originally 2022, right? It was 2022.
I think so, yeah.
September.
Like December, I think it was December 22, delayed to September 23, and now it's been delayed to like March 24.
I didn't even know it was, I'm fairly certain it was September 2022, then it was just delayed to 2023, and now is delayed to this. As far as I remember, because unless I'm completely wrong with that, I think it was that though. Because when did Unbound come out? Has it been a year since Unbound came out? I don't know. But now that you say it, it does kind of feel like...
Yeah, 22nd of September 2022.
I thought so, yeah. Then it was delayed to 2023.
Yeah.
And now, so just vaguely whenever in the year. Now 2024. What is going on with this game? It's never a good sign, right?
Nacon. That's what's going on with this game.
Because Motorfest...
They make nothing but WRC and like Tour de France games, so...
And I want to say, it's not like a... I want to say, obviously, it's fair to assume a bias, right? But, like, look. If Motorfest was announced for 2023... The date is right now, September 2023. And then they said, oh, sorry, February 2024. Oh, wait, sorry, 2025. Oh, wait, sorry, January 2026. Oh, wait, sorry, December 2026. Like, I would be worried. Like,
it's obviously the massive rut at the minute with development. There's something going on that is not getting fixed.
Actually, this is how I meant to phrase this. If they had announced March 2024 as the initial release date, I wouldn't have been worried at all. Like, that's where I wouldn't have been worried. If they just said, yeah, it's going to take us till 2024. Back in 2022, they said that. Sure, but to have a date, then push it, that's where it's a bit, like they gave themselves a whole extra year and still weren't able to make the date.
Still seen zero gameplay.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, right? So what I heard, one of the arguments was, and it's a fair argument, pushed for competition. Forza Motorsport, Crew Motorfest, TDU Motor Crown, right? Like it's pushed for competition is what I heard. Something to do with the dirt, maybe, I don't know.
If Dirt's competing with TDU, we have bigger problems.
No, I think that's in my head. I might have said that wrong. Oh, and extra polish is what I heard. Extra polish.
Extra polish. I haven't got the game ready yet. There's no gameplay.
It's what I used to say is, think about this. Crew Motorfest and TDU Solar Crown are both games.
If development's taking this long, imagine how long it's going to be before we see an update.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's just that. It's the worrying
Either
thing.
KT just don't have the staff.
Yeah.
Or they are struggling hard to get this game finished.
And radio silence. So I don't know if we talked about. I think we did. They missed a newsletter, and then this information came out in their earnings report. They missed a newsletter, and then this came out. So TDU, they're already kind of like, I
just think KT's got a massive. They've gone for like 2 community managers as well, as far as I'm aware.
Mm.
They can't keep
I believe
staff.
so, yeah.
The game's getting delayed permanently.
Yeah.
It's almost as if something is seriously wrong with management.
Yeah, yeah. And
either Nacon or head of KT are doing something wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
and it's just not getting fixed for some reason.
Nothing's computed. It's just. Look. It's the fact that they're missing a date, right? It's missing another date.
I think they've hyped it up too much.
Yeah. I mean that too as well. I guess,
KT don't know how to make a TDU game.
I guess that's kind of unavoidable though, because like there's a real sweet spot between hyping too much and hyping too little. So
I think this is the definition of hyping too much.
You reckon? I think the fact that we've not seen any gameplay...
It's been announced for like 2 years. What do you mean?
Oh, no, sure, yeah, but like...
They were hyping it all up with these trailers, all these cinematic trailers and these announcements, and then just decide to fall off the face of the earth.
The cinematic trailer that early compared to when the game was coming out? Wild to me. Like, Motorfest got a cinematic trailer, what? 4 months before the game comes out? Which then again... It's not a wild thing. The Crew 2 cinematic trailer was a year before that game came out, and the Crew 2 was delayed as well.
The second we got a cinematic, didn't we get insider program though? Didn't people get to play the game?
For Motorfest, yeah. So we instantly got gameplay with the cinematic.
It's almost as if the game was finished.
Like, that's the worrying thing. It's not that it's
KT
like...
Racing can't make an open world racing game.
Yeah.
Because they haven't made one. It's
missing the things is definitely... The unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not attached to this franchise, but I still want it to be good. I think I kind of came to a point where I accepted not my type of game. It's gonna have indicators and rolling down your windows.
Yeah.
Not my type of game.
I've got a feeling it's just. The KT Racing developers literally just made WRC and V Rally. They make close course rally games.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to make a 1-to-1 scale Hong Kong open world. Hong Kong Island.
Yeah.
If they're using the same engine, I imagine that's giving them trouble in the first place.
Yep.
Plus the developers don't know how to make one. Plus they're trying to make it like TDU. None of them know how to make a TDU game.
Yeah, well, because all of them are doing, like, Motorfest, I guess, but, yeah. I
think it's not enough staff.
Yeah.
Management is terrible. They don't really know how to do what they're trying to do.
Yep.
I think they announced it with the cinematic trailer, saw how big the hype was, and were like, yeah, we're going to have to add so much to this game to release in a state where it's going to be acceptable. It's just... stuck.
I mean, even the stuff we have seen didn't people be like, this looks bad? Was that not a thing? I don't know. I mean, gameplay matters above all.
The photos
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
people
Look,
criticizing.
graphics, whatever, right? Gameplay matters above all
Environment
else, but-
details, great.
Yeah.
The environment details look fine, perfectly fine, acceptable, which you'd
Yeah.
expect from a WRC game engine game.
Yeah.
It's the cars in the images. It just doesn't look right. Like, something is off.
Yeah.
It's like a Gran Turismo 7 Scapes image, like where they've taken the background
The way
and
I
the car's
described
been
it,
composited on top.
the way I described it, and it's definitely an outrageous insult. It looks like someone developed a racing game as like one of those mods for old school shooter games. Like, you know how something like what's the one with the gravity gun? What's that race? What's that?
Half-Life, or no,
Half-Life.
Gmod.
It looks like a Gmod / Half-Life mod. Like someone made a racing
Yeah.
game in a Half-Life mod or in a Gmod mod. Like, that's what the
Have
kind
you
of
seen
vibe
Half-Life and Gmod? Dude,
yeah.
I'd be worried if it looked like that, but
No, definitely like scaled up, sure. But it's definitely worrying. Cause
yeah.
if they miss this day as well.
I mean, they've got half the staff of Motorfest or of Ivory
Yeah.
Tower and Turn 10.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have enough people to create a product with the ambition they've given themselves.
Also, I do want to say it really quickly. Like, I tweeted this image, and people were kind of dogging on the studio. I don't want that. I'm talking about the game isolated. Look, studio crunch is always a terrible thing. Causes, what's it called? A really bad work environment if it's like, finish this quickly.
I mean,
What I'm not...
so they
like-
posted images of them hiking a mountain on their official socials. So.
Oh, did they?
I think it's a French thing. They're doing a very Ivory Tower, and they have a lot of parties.
Yeah. I mean, it's the modern day, like, let's build a community. Our workplace is a community.
If they're doing all this and still struggling to keep staff, though, like community managers,
Yeah.
makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
But
'Cause
yeah.
I imagine a community manager's a high-paying role. I
Yeah.
can't imagine it's like 20 grand a year.
Yeah.
To go through them as quickly as they are is impressive.
Some worrying overhead is what that is, because yeah, voiding contracts and like sorting that out and all that. It's messy. It's messy, is what it is. I want
What's
the
the
game
community
to be good.
manager doing? Because there's no community interaction.
I was gonna say, yeah, that too, right? There's not info that
Like,
we've heard.
there's one in the Discord, but I mean, they don't do anything in there.
I want this game to do good, man. Again, when I talk about this delay, I would have
It's
been
getting
fine.
delayed.
Like,
The graphics aren't going to get any better.
I would be fine. I would have been fine if this was the initial release date. But to miss 2 release dates,
Yeah.
if they miss a third, it's either got to be Game of the Year or it's forgotten a month
It's
after
not going to
launch.
be game of the year. It's not going to
But
be
I
game
mean,
of
like
the year.
2 years extra development time. Like if it's been delayed
They've
almost
not done
3
2 extra
years.
years of development time for the fun of it. I'm sure they need to get this released for money. I can't imagine KT have infinite stacks of cash lying around.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the monthly. So like, what? Let me actually check this full earning report because what are they doing outside of this? So
Well, that's Nacon as a whole. I don't think that's KT. KT individually, I imagine, are hemorrhaging money at the minute.
yeah, they're definitely better off being a subsidiary than if they were their own brand or indie, etc. Oh well, like
Because
technically.
their last
whatever, right?
game was WRC Generations. That was a few years ago.
Oh. Oh wait, no, wait, really? Wait, let me. Someone said it's being made by the Gollum developers, and I thought that
No,
was
it's
an
not.
insult. Is it they're owned by the same company? Is that what it
Probably,
is?
yeah. But it's not being made by
I was gonna
Gollum
say
developers.
because that Gollum game was terrible, is what I remember. Oh no, yeah, it says it. Okay, so KT Games, they've got Isle of Man this quarter. They've got this quarter?
Forgot they made that.
They've
They
got-
only have 100 staff split between multiple games. This is never releasing.
Well, you're saying that Isle of Man, October 23. They've got Overpass 2 coming out, whatever that is. Let me
Jesus.
Overpass 2, and then TDU Solar Crown.
They have 140 staff.
Overpass 2 is this kind of vehicle racing game. Like exclusively is what it seems.
So how many people are actually working on
TDU.
TDU? Because 148 staff over 3 games. Obviously, TDU's getting the main focus, I imagine.
Yeah.
But what if it's like 40 on Isle of Man? Even still, that's... It's 100, let's say it's 150 to be nice, as I throw my calculator. Like, divided evenly, that'd be 50 on each project. I imagine, like... There's no way they have less than 20 staff working on each of these, like Isle of Man and...
Overpass 2.
Overpass. It's probably split pretty evenly. It's probably about 50 on each then, I imagine.
Would I be right to say they're doing a bit of an Alpine? Like, they've got Isle of Man, and they've got this game, 2 very niche
I imagine
games.
they're locked in with Isle of Man. I imagine it's a multi-year deal they signed.
But, like, they're niched games, and then now they're trying to do a big mainstream. They're trying to do a...
Makes a ton of sense
like,
why it isn't. It's not coming out because of competition. It's coming out because they've got about 4 people working on the game.
I just, like... There's a lot to do in that studio.
148 divided by all of it isn't just devs.
Yeah.
You're going to have managers, community... You're going to have, like, managers, like, com devs, all the social media people, all the concept art, all of that. There's probably only, like, 20 devs on each game.
Yeah. I feel like I need like a you and Alex 7 debate is what I need. Alex 7 is a cool guy. Just Alex 7, cool guy.
Bad of the bias.
As biased as I am, the crew too, I imagine he is TDU, right? Like, it was definitely...
So, Ivory Tower has double the staff on one singular project.
Yeah, yeah.
Half that split beyond 3 is insane.
Yeah.
I can see why ComDev, or the community managers, might leave.
It's just, I guess...
I imagine once you see what a mess this is like internally, I wouldn't want to see what this is like internally.
And also, it couldn't have just been one ComDev, right? Because I can't imagine having to handle all of the promo and everything for 3 different games.
I imagine that's why they left.
Like, yeah, for 3 different games. Well, it could have been personal reasons, I guess we don't know, but like... 3 different games and managing the...
Well, it makes sense why TDU has nothing on it. I imagine they're just solely advertising Isle of Man Overpass at the minute.
Also, Overpass didn't look great. I did just, like, I pulled up the...
It's a KT racing game.
But, it looks like the technologies are all the same. I don't know how Isle of Man looks visually. Oh, don't they do an off-road game of some kind as well?
They did V-Rally in WRC.
WRC, that's still doing
But I
stuff,
think
though,
they've lost the WRC license, I'm pretty sure.
Did they do, like, one last WRC game?
Generations, I think is what it was called, yeah.
I mean, if TDU looked like this, yeah, it's not terrible. It's not like wildly bad. It's like it's a very complex model there, so it makes it look a little bit better. Also, it's a licensed, like that's a Yamaha logo. It's a licensed.
Yamaha give their licenses for free. I can tell you that.
But these are licensed. What are they called? 4x4.
Side by side.
Same thing, yeah. But it's a side-by-side racer. And I can't manage to catch any other brands. Polaris?
Polaris, Razor.
Yeah. So it's a side-by-side racer.
I don't know who else. I think Honda make a few.
They've got their niche things, and now they're doing TDU.
And surely this makes no money.
But the delays are unfortunate. They're really upsetting. Also, check out Alex 7. Cool guy.
They shouldn't have started development on Overpass 2. They should have paused it at least.
Yeah, I guess, with how TDU's delayed.
Because,
right?
like...
Knowing that they'll have to announce another delay... Oh, if the game gets delayed a 3rd time...
Well, think how little people are actually working on the game. That's actually insane. I didn't know they had 140 people working on just TDU makes sort of sense why it's been delayed this much. To have essentially a 1/3 of that is insane. There's no way.
Stability and optimization can't be that good if there's that little people, right? If there is that little people, right? Maybe the whole team takes days, right? Maybe it's like today we're working on TDU solo count. So then it does technically have like 300 or whatever, however many people.
Well,
working
with that
on it.
many staff, there's going to be at least 5 on leave at any one time. So it's because -5 from the total staff, and then it's insane. They need to double their staff at least.
Yeah.
But I suppose they don't have the funding because they're making niche games.
Let me actually clarify this. I might be entirely wrong. It might not say KT Racing. It might say Racing. I just can't see. Who developed this? Overpass, Become, Reward? Because I might be completely wrong. Adventure in Overpass 2. If I am, I'm sure Alex 7 was having a very frustrating time watching this. Who's making Overpass 2? Developed by... Okay! Neopica. Whoever that is.
Who is that?
KT Racing just does... Isle of Man. Is that KT Racing? That is KT Racing, right? Like, that one's definite KT Racing, I swear.
Isle of Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Split between 2 games. I don't know if they're making another V-Rally, though. If they are making another V-Rally... I wouldn't, personally.
I want to retract any Overpass team slander as well. They just got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, Overpass team just caught slander there, but still, two games over a development team that small.
When did the PS5 come out?
What? 3 years ago?
3? Was it only 3? I swear it was pandemic era.
I think it was like 2019, something like that.
It's PlayStation 5. Release date 2020. So 3 years.
3 years.
3
yeah.
years. In 2024, PS4 and Xbox One?
They can't. No, I refuse to believe that many staff. If it releases on PS4 and Xbox One, the game will be terrible.
With the graphics we've seen, it probably could be on those platforms though, like easily.
That's just slander, to be fair, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, your game looks like a PS4 game.
Yeah. What is this, releasing on the PS3? This could probably release on mobile, actually. But that's really unfortunate. TDU, make a game, please. And
I can't believe
look,
they split that dev team between 2 games.
if it just releases 24 Feb or March or Jan 24.
Like, that's like having, what's it called? Because you know on Horizon it's Turn 10 and Playground games.
Yeah.
That's like just having Playground work on Horizon.
Like half.
And then split it over 2 games.
I was going to say,
like,
yeah.
there's no way this game is going to be of any real quality. Like, not of any fault of their own, just the lack of staff. They just have no one.
But if it is good, that would be cool. I mean, I'm sure, for everyone's sake, if it solidified itself as the 4th big racer, I think that would be fine. I think if it...
18 need it, I reckon. They are going to lose a lot of money on this, if not.
If it was Need for Speed, Horizon, Crew, Test Drive...
Watch them open up pre-orders before we see gameplay.
That would be funny if they did do that.
Because I guarantee, surely they have hemorrhaged so much money by now on the development of this game.
It makes me think, and it's not a competition, really. It makes me think about just how much better the Crew 2 is doing it, really. Like...
Well, yeah, you've got double the staff working on essentially one game.
Yeah.
Like, it's like having, like, Crew 2 towards end of life probably had about as many staff as TDU has working on it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, we're going to get no updates for this game.
That'll be interesting to see.
Because they're going to have to work on the next Isle of Man.
I think Alex 7 said long-term updates confirmed.
Who's going to be making them? The janitors? I don't see how...
Bearing in mind, Need for Speed Unbound also probably considers itself to have long-term
Who makes
Need
for Speed Unbound devs?
No
Criterion.
idea.
I guarantee they have more staff. I guarantee it.
Sure, but I want to say, Alex 7, I watched the video, and I want to say he did say long-term updates. So, car drops, I imagine. Themed updates, I imagine. Car drops especially, right? That's the thing people mostly care about.
I don't see how. Because they are going to have to make another Isle of Man game. 100%.
I wish I had played the other Test Drive games, because, like, what does...
They weren't made by KT.
I guess, yeah. What does the gameplay look like in a test drive game? Because in my head, I've only just now thought of that. Sure, driving. Sure, cars. Sure, a one-to-one map. What's the gameplay? Is there races? Is there I mean, I guess we don't know. And look, I don't mean that to be like, yeah, it probably sucks. I mean, what is it? Tell us. What is it going to be? Go ahead.
The
I mean,
more I learn
optimistic.
about test drive, the more worried I get.
Again, yeah, the delay. Look, sure, it might be.
Not
Sure,
even
maybe.
delay. It's the fact they're working on multiple games at the same time
Yeah.
with such a small studio.
Not Overpass, but Isle of Man and the Dirts or whatever, or the
I
WRCs.
get they have to be working on another WRC or V Rally or something.
Yeah. But
With 140 staff.
yeah,
That's insane.
it's really unfortunate.
Like, at least 20% of those are non-devs as well. Like,
I think that it's just even if there was not a word of a lie in it's because of competition and polish that they're delaying it. If that was 100% the truth, 100%, right? Fully the truth.
it's not.
It's still unfortunate that it happened to TDU, the game that has already shown so little, missed a monthly newsletter, and has already been delayed
If they
once.
really had something to show, showing it now, to say, oh, you should wait, don't get Motorfest, wait for our game, would be the best move, really.
Yeah.
Instead of just missing a community notes, I don't know what it's called, community notes thing,
Yeah.
and just, like, essentially silently announcing it a lie.
Yeah.
They're just kind of brushing it under the rug, like, well, we weren't meant to release.
But then again,
sorry.
if there's a comment section on whatever this community thing is, can't imagine having a delay announced there would have been nice. Like a tweet that they can mute the notifications of is probably the best way to announce it.
They
really.
don't tweet.
What's that?
They don't tweet, ever.
Oh, do they not at
essentially.
all?
No.
Oh.
They tweet like once a year.
Yeah.
I think the last tweet was April Fool's or something, or the announcement of these community notes things.
I still love that. Didn't they tweet Test Drive is coming out in 2022? Like, wasn't that their "Hey, look, we got verified" tweet?
I think they tweeted something like that.
It was
yeah.
Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown will release 2022. That's funny. Oh, can I be?
I think
level?
Nacon is expecting way too much from such a small development team, while also forcing them to work on mobile games.
If I posted, they do tweet. To be fair, looking at it now, they do. Like they tweeted this image, right? Like they tweet. They tweet. It's There you go.
I wouldn't tweet this personally. I believe this. What is this? I would delete this immediately.
There's something about it, right? Like it looks like.
Look at the like stand, the furthest right's like close stand for the petrol station roof.
Yeah.
It looks like a GTA 5 mod.
I don't wanna not like it. And Alex is a great guy, and I want his channel to pop off with TDU. It looks like a PS2 game. Like it
You
looks
know
like
those
Splinter
like
Cell. It looks like Splinter Cell Blacklist.
you know those like PS3 games with like someone's put ray tracing on
Sorry,
and like
no,
up the
PS2.
brightness.
That's 3. Sorry, yeah, PS3 is what I mean. But yeah,
It's
carry
just it's something about it. It looks like they've upped all the reflections and brightness to mask the low poly, low textures.
The lighting looks strange. Those lights look really weird. They don't behave.
I can't get over those posts holding up the petrol station. No way, that is tragic.
Yeah, like it looks like 2023 model, but the textures are
It's
so
the wrong
off.
side of Uncanny Valley. It's just not good. It's like it's not Forza levels of realistic, but it's not Crew 2 levels of bad.
I mean, look, I get this is outside, and I mean, again, you do want outside to look good, but this is an interior.
That's 4 pixels over Discord. I can't see. It's all smooth.
I'll send it to you. But that's an interior. We got the car list looks pretty cool, right? Very high end. One thing I had to. It's so hit or miss.
This is a CSR2 image. You can't tell me otherwise.
It's so hit or miss. Like this to me.
Environment textures, like the mud, the trees, the bushes, look great.
Mud
I
especially,
assume
like this shot.
those are taken from WIC. They've had like 10 years of experience working on it. They know how to make great environment textures.
But
They
it's
just can't
something
make good.
about...
It's the city.
Something about the city. The city just like the... maybe it'll be better driving in there.
Trees look great. Like the trees are actually insanely good.
Oh yeah.
It's just the city. Something about it is
The
so
buildings,
off.
the skyscrapers, they look so... You know what the skyscrapers look like? They look like out of bounds in a Modern Warfare 3 era COD game.
Yeah.
That's what they look like to me. Like, they look like the generic city skyscrapers
Is
that
there
they put
any water in that fountain?
No.
Is there grass in the fountain? Sure.
There's some grass
Okay.
in the fountain. There's some, like, I assume it's like moss, water moss, but without the water. So,
Why
yeah.
is there? Is this an abandoned city? Is that what the vibes going for? Sure.
It's worrying. No, it is.
I like the cop. Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
But you've got to think. This is the best. They're only posting the best of what they have. Imagine what an actual in-game screenshot looks like.
I'm trying to find that Audi R8 shot. Where's the Audi R8 shot? Because that one.
That Mercedes one is worse. 100%.
You reckon? Yeah.
That Mercedes petrol station one is the worst one of these I've seen so far.
This looks nice. I mean, that looks fine, right?
Off-road.
Also, it's got test
They
drive.
can make a great off-road, but
The rocks look fine. The color's a bit. Why is everything doused in nighttime?
paint on the car looks
Like-
odd, but sure.
Only the indoors are not doused in nighttime, which is again worrying.
Easy way to hide flaws.
Yeah. I mean,
Same with the overexposing the normal images.
like this. It's just like it's like it. The parallax maps look nice, ish. I don't want to keep hating it.
Do you
Flat.
believe this is actually in game?
It looks captured from alpha version of the game. Actually, it looks flat.
Doesn't mean it isn't pre-rendered.
I guess, but
Like it looks like a Blender render. Is like it's not. It looks like someone's taken a 3D map and hand mapped textures over this 3D map. It doesn't look.
the lighting, especially, right? That's what makes me most it feel like a Half-Life mod or something, right? This skyscraper in the background, that's shoddy, is what that is. That the lighting on that and the real nondescript of it and the real like a skyscraper. You could go to London and the skyscrapers are ugly, but each and every one is slightly unique, right? I don't know if it's just a Hong Kong Island thing. It might be. I might be completely wrong. Maybe all the Hong Kong Island skyscrapers look like this, completely like 4-5 different skyscrapers completely identical next to each other. Maybe that's how it looks. I'm happy to be proven wrong. But it's worrying that that's the case where like this.
Look, I can't pinpoint one thing that's bad.
Yes,
It just
you
looks
can.
off.
Oh, maybe it'll be good to play though. You know.
But the issue is, it's gonna release with 2020 game graphics in 2024.
Yeah.
When's Horizon 6 coming out? Because Horizon 6, if it is
That's
a
a fair
genuine 10% improvement over 5, it's just gonna blow this out of the water, like no competition.
If it gets delayed again, I've already talked about that, I guess, but yeah.
But against load again, I might as well confirm it's never coming out at that point.
Oh, this cinematic trailer was cool though. Like, if you consider that, the cinematic trailer was cool. So the game must be, right? Like, come on now, let's admit that the cinematic trailer is cool for a
I
minute.
haven't even seen physics yet.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
It could just have the
Was there
worst
some
tap
testing,
to
though?
drift physics.
I think there was some testing. that
Nothing
happened.
public.
No, nothing public. But there was testing though, right? There was like your beta tester or whatever. I think.
Not for Solar Crown. No.
Oh, was there not? I could have sworn there was.
No.
I could have had whispers
It
of it.
would have
maybe.
been leaked into oblivion.
I guess maybe it was just like
It would have
content
been on
creators and
Twitter
stuff,
day
or-
zero.
I guess, yeah. Or at least like even if it wasn't images leaked, someone would have talked to.
Someone would have said their opinion on it or what it was. Like it's. This is the biggest false advertising image I've seen in my life.
The concepts are
Pictures
cool.
of the fake casino city is better than
The concept is really I like the vibe of this trailer.
Great trailer.
Yeah.
The game's not going to look like that.
It's a very Crew 1 vibe trailer, which is good. Like I like this. I like this trailer. But make a game, please. Please make a game, please.
Genshin Impact trailer. No.
I mean, if it's 1-to-1 of Jesus, that's a big city.
It's 1-to-1 of Hong Kong Island. It's going to have a bigger map than Motorfest.
Yeah, no. The map is probably going to be really good. I mean, the size of the map might be one of the reasons it's the texture. But if it's just a whole map of this, like, yeah, 1-to-1 kind of.
That's going to be rough.
But a whole map of this.
It's become a TDU hating segment.
I like it. I don't want it to be bad. Please release something so Alex7 can message me and go, it's not bad.
Proof. If Alex7 could play the game in its current state, he'd probably praise it to no end. Okay,
well, you could say the same about me and Motorfest. And you can.
Yeah, I do. I do say the same about you and Motorfest.
So you're too much of a pessimist, alright? I want this game to be good.
Yeah, I'm in between two of the biggest biases known to mankind. TDU can do no wrong, and Motorfest can do no wrong.
But I guess
we both have obvious flaws.
From that, we can talk about the Sid trying to not zone out and actually focus on something.
Talking about flaws
of the Stick Drift podcast, the Motorsports segment. I know for a fact something at least has gone on in the world of F1.
I'm preying on Williams' strategist downfall. I think I made a joke in Motorsports chat.
Yep.
Yeah, so Citroen C, what's it called? The bad egg shape one crashing and exploding. I just remember Williams' strategist when decisions after you made or something. Williams somehow finding new ways to lose points every race.
Yeah.
It's just so because it was a sprint race weekend, right?
Yes.
I think Alex qualified 7th for the sprint, and it was wet, so they were on intermediates.
Yeah.
And everyone was on intermediates, and then Hulkenberg, he was actually fighting at the front for most of it, and then his tyres fell off because he's in a Haas.
Yeah.
So he had to pitted for mediums, which meant Alex was 6th, right? Williams, the team that literally never scores points, in 6th, right? Comfortably 6th. They weren't getting caught up, so everything was fine.
Yeah.
So then Russell, I think it was Ocon, and a few others pit for mediums, right?
Yeah.
They can see they are 3 seconds a lap quicker, right? By the time they pitted Albon, they would have needed to have been 6 seconds a lap quicker to catch up to where he was. They pitted him with I think it was 5 laps to the end of the race.
Yeah.
He wasn't being caught up to. They threw away a 6th place for 13th.
Yeah.
Because they were handing out free crack to the strategist or something. I actually have no idea what the thought process was.
Yeah.
It's actually, they find new ways, inconceivable ways of losing points no other human being could come up with. Like, the only reason they don't get flamed for this is because they are at the back. If they could give... Nice camera. They could give Williams an RB... a Red Bull competitive car. And they would throw away so many points. They would be a laughingstock. The usual thing they do is they leave Albon out way too long. They'll leave him out on 40 lap old tyres to try and defend positions, which isn't great, but it kind of works sometimes. This was just so out of left field. I've never seen a worse decision made in my life. I don't even know what happened for the rest of the sprint. I lost it when I saw that.
But the other thing that I heard from Motorsports was the penalties. So last week we had the unsportsmanlike behavior penalty. This week,
I can't remember. Like, I think there was 1,200 track limits violations. And if one driver gets 5, it's a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
And then if you get another one, it's 10-second penalty. There's no way I'm remembering all of them. But essentially, during the race, I know Hamilton got one. I know Ocon got one. Tsunoda and Sargent and Albon. I know those 5 got penalties for track limits. Because you don't know the Red Bull ring.
Yeah.
But in the second to last and last corner, if you run over the white line, and it's like essentially almost a flat out corner, the car just slides over the white line.
Yeah.
You get a track limits violation. When you're racing another car, it tends to slide over the line, so a load of people got things. But after the race, Aston Martin complained to the FIA they didn't fairly issue track limits violations to every team.
Yeah.
So some poor soul had to sit there going through every onboard of every external camera to make sure they caught every track limits violation.
Yeah.
And in the end, this is after the race, after all of the penalties were given out during the race.
So there wasn't that many penalties to begin with, or was there still a lot to begin with?
It was comical during the race. It was to the point where it was just silly.
Yeah.
But after the race, Sainz got a 10-second penalty. Hamilton got a 10-second penalty. Gasly got a 10-second penalty. Albon got a 10-second penalty. Ocon got, 20 seconds? No, 30-second penalty.
Yeah.
Sargent got a 10-second penalty. De Vries got a 15. And then Tsunoda got a 5. Like, at what point is the track limits a problem to where it affects the racing?
Something could be very funny done there. Well, again, like you said, right? Like, clearly it's a track issue at that point. If, like, everyone is getting the thing, right? Where, like, how many times has that been missed? Where can someone, like, endlessly... Well, what if some a team complains every race? Every single race, they go, you missed some penalties. And then they have to go through every time and issue extra penalties every time. A team could be an absolute nuisance with that. And I'd love it if they did.
Albon almost got points. He got 11th after all the penalties, which is...
Essentially, Mercedes was the kid who did the homework knowing no one else did. And went, well, why didn't you ask them for homework?
It was actually Aston Martin, to be fair.
Oh, sorry, Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. Of course, Mercedes didn't. They had points. They had stuff to lose.
Well, Aston Martin confused with everyone today. Yeah.
Aston Martin done the maths and figured out that if these penalties were given out fairly, they'd gain a position.
Oh, okay.
So they end up getting 5th instead of 6th.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
And you know what? Good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them.
I mean, Norris got 4th, which is impressive in a McLaren, but
yeah.
I don't think that performance will last.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know what happened for the rest of the race, to be fair. Williams throwing away... The Williams is such a bad race car that it's just kind of sad. It's only good in the straights. If a racetrack doesn't have long straights, might as well not turn up.
Except for like last race, didn't they just like beam out of nowhere or something?
Because it had straights.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It had, I think it was Canada. It had too long. The Williams is actually like they've done a meta. They've put all their points into one stat. On the straights, someone with DRS behind can't overtake. Like it's that quick in a straight line, but it cannot turn.
Oh, so the next one's Silverstone. Is it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it will be, because they brought up it's for Canada.
And then if I had to guess, it's like Hungary next or something. And then like if I was just to get it off the top of my head, like probably Belgium next.
Spa is going to be a great track for Williams.
If it was me, I would put Netherlands after that. I mean, hey, Italy looks like it would be good. Italy's got a lot of straights. It's just a boomerang. Like, Italy is just a boomerang. Like, that looks like...
I think that's Spa, yeah. It's just, it's a straight...
That's Monza. Monza's Italy. Spa is Belgium.
Straight corner, straight chicane, corner, straight.
Spa's like a bird with its wings down. Spa's got like a big back, yeah, it's got like a big line at the top. But then Italy is Monza, and that's literally, yeah, line, hairpin, line, slight curve, hairpin, line.
The more
slight
straight's
curve.
the better for Williams.
Yeah.
And for Red Bull, but they're going to win anyway.
I mean, Qatar's got one long straight. Same with Abu Dhabi. Las Vegas, for sure.
If it has a long straight but a lot of turns, it basically negates any advantage Williams have.
Las Vegas might as well be a NASCAR track. There's one really tight hairpin, but...
they're going to fall further back as well, because I don't think they're bringing upgrades for a while now.
Mexico's fairly straight. I mean, this is the roster, right? If
Mexico has Sector 3 Mexico is not good for Williams. They're not going to be good there.
I've got this still. I've got the paper of every race. So like it's pretty cool actually.
Mexico has a long straight, yeah, but Sector 3.
Italy, the Abu Dhabi's got the long straight. Italy definitely looks like, surely they do a lot in Italy, because that's literally...
They've got to qualify well.
I guess, yeah.
You've got to remember, they're fighting Williams strategists at the same time.
Yeah. Canada definitely looks like it would have been good for them.
Yeah.
But, unless there's any more news in motorsports...
Not that I can remember.
Because that's all I heard about. And got a longer episode of the Stick Drift podcast. Went for 2 hours.
TDU slander has taken up most of that.
And the main news segment... Oh, yeah! The main news segment was only an hour. Gaming and motorsports.
It was like 30 minutes Motorfest, 30 minutes TDU slander, 5-6 minutes Williams slander. So.
But on that note, that's about it for this episode of the Stick Drift podcast. Check out the podcast on Spotify. Leave it a like. Check out the other podcast episodes that you haven't watched.
You're gonna have to censor your LinkedIn.
I will have to edit, of course, but that is gonna be about it from us in a SidWaj next week for the 31st episode in a bit.